Yo Guild Wars 2 fans, it's Ed Park aka Taugrim. I just leveled my Elementalist to 80 this month and I'm playing daphoenix's awesome tanky DPS Dagger Elementalist spec. It features high power, toughness, vitality, and with the trait selection and gear upgrade components you end up with a build that has really good in-combat mobility, good mitigation and sustained condition removal, solid self-healing, solid sustained DPS, and really good survivability through the cantrips. The fights in this video are from the Tier 1 matchup between my server, Blackgate, and Sea of Sorrows and Jade Quarry this weekend. This spec definitely has a pretty steep learning curve for a couple reasons why. Now obviously as an Elementalist you're dealing with 4 attunements with 5 abilities each, so 20 different abilities to manage, and you can't see the cooldowns for the attunement that you're not in, so you have to mentally keep track of where your cooldowns are at. But beyond that, with this spec, two things. It operates pretty much like a melee mage, a short range kiter, so you have to get used to fighting people short range and getting your fields down. So your Fire 3 and Fire 4 will give you fire fields that you can combo off of with your Earth 3 and 4 and 5 abilities. And beyond that, there isn't much power, toughness, vitality gear in the game until you hit level 80, so you don't really get a sense until you're at max level and get geared up how tanky you're going to feel and how much risk you can take in your fights. This first fight is obviously against a thief, and I'm being patient and waiting for opportunities to gradually burn him down. And I shift into water there. He was hitting me pretty hard. I play this fight pretty conservatively, and the neat thing with the Sigil of Restoration and the stats is every time you cast a spell, you get a heal. Whenever you use a cantrip with this spec, you get regeneration, and the duration is really high. Right there you can see I laid down a fire field, used Earth 3 for the gap close. I tried to knock him down with an Earth 4. He ported, but I used Earth 5 along with my Lightning Flash to port and make sure that the Earth 5 hit. And then I knew I had Air 4 and Air 5 up. That's Ride the Lightning, and then the knockback to finish him off. Turns out I didn't need the knockback, but I was saving Ride the Lightning, Air 4 and Air 5 for being able to burn him down. This is against a Mesmer. He was shelling me really hard with his shadows, dropped me to low health, and you can see the spec has really good recoverability. I was able to kite away from him, create some separation, get my HP back up. And I'm fighting near some of the opposing keeps, so I'm kiting away. Another enemy player added into the mix here. That's a Necromancer laying down his field. So this really shows the high escapability of a Dagger Elementalist, and I'm spamming my 1 key to heal up, and then I lay down my Fire 3 and 4 when I'm kiting away from people to force them to traverse it. Now most of the other players pulled off there. It's just the Mesmer and I again. I use Earth 3 to close the gap to him, Earth 4 for the knockdown, and then while I'm casting Earth 5, he knocks me down with his Greatsword ability. So he has 2 CCs. He has his, aside from his Shatter-based Daze effect, he has his Greatsword knockdown and then his Focus Pull, which he just used right there. Now I counter that with my pull, get up close. The Earth 2 ability is really nice. It's a point-blank AoE ability that does pretty solid damage, and I use Ride the Lightning there, Air 4 to close the gap to him. Now Earth attunement's actually up. I should have swapped over right now and then used Earth 3 immediately, because I could have rooted him and then finished him off, and you'll see me do that in a little bit. But that's part of what makes playing this spec so much fun. You're constantly swapping between attunements, trying to predict where your opponents are going to be, and then lay down your AoE so that they're forced to traverse them. And then here I go ahead and swap over to the Earth attunement, use Earth 3 for the range gap closer, and then Earth 2 for the finish. So as you're using cantrips, using your auras, you have the Air 3 aura as well as the Water 4. Your cantrips provide you with regeneration and vigor, your auras provide you with fury and swiftness, and then you get boons based on whichever attunement you're swapping in and out of. Like you get protection from earth, and then you get a regeneration effect from water, etc. So with the spec, it's really designed to be doing a lot of fast swapping between attunements, and one of the things that I'm still trying to get used to doing is attunement swap casting. So, you know, while you're casting the last ability that you're going to use in a given attunement, swap over to the next attunement that you're going to use. So it really requires a fair amount of planning and anticipation right there. You know, I had a fire effect down on that ranger, so I went ahead and burned down fire 5, and then while I was stomping him, I used Armor of Earth for the stability. And a lot of elementals actually favor using Cleansing Flame instead of Armor of Earth for the condition removal and the AoE fire. I just like having stability to get those, you know, finishes, especially in traffic. You know, granted this is a 1 versus 2, so there's not a lot of other players, but you know, I wanted to make sure to get that ranger down. I'm gradually wearing down this warrior. You know, he's pretty tanky. It's taking me a long time, and he's has shout-based condition removal, looks like, and then Thief adds to this fight. I go ahead and pop Mist Form here, and here's like one of the things which is it takes a lot of practice, and I'm still working on, is figuring out what's the least amount that I can use my cantrips so I don't become overly dependent on them. You know, I definitely found when I was first doing WvW at 80 and was in the process of gearing up, sometimes, you know, I use my cantrips in situations where they weren't needed, and you'll see that sometimes in this video, but, you know, really what takes a lot of practice is getting that sense of how much risk that you can take without using your cantrips and saving those for an emergency. Right here, I did burn Armor of Earth, did the knockdown with Earth 4 and then Earth 5, and then if the warrior had strafed out of the circle for Earth 5, I would have gone ahead and teleported over him with Lightning Flash. So, a couple other players are inbound, so this goes to a 1v3, and I go ahead and use Lightning Flash to teleport, and then ride the Lightning Air 4 to get away. This is a mirror fight against another Dagger Elementalist. I think he's stacking card toughness Vitality. He's got a Sigil stack up to 25, which will go away when I kill him. But right here, I use Earth 4 for the knockdown, pop Armor of Earth, Earth 5 to hit him for 5,700, and he tried to interrupt my cast of Earth 5 with his Earth 4 knockdown, but you know, I had stability, so it didn't land, and as a consequence, he's way behind me in terms of HP. So, you know, it's just a matter of continuing to apply pressure, stay on top of him, lay down as much AoE as possible, and then burn him down. Now, you may have heard, you know, there was a recent dev live stream where they talked about AoEs and that they're going to be trying to balance or nerf their effectiveness, and it's really to be determined how much this is going to impact Elementalist. Some specs, you know, for example, Staff Elementalist and Dagger Elementalist, 18 of their 20 abilities have an AoE component, so we'll have to see. But, you know, in the meanwhile, this is an incredibly fun spec to play, really dynamic, and I'm having a lot of fun. Let me know what your questions or thoughts are on Dagger Elementalist, and I hope you enjoy the video. Take care.